That's right. It's virtual happy hour time. And I hope all of you out there are happy because it is the happy hour. I'm Lon Hudman, Vice President of Events and Marketing at Soul Naturals, and I want to welcome all of you to our virtual happy hour tonight. And we have a great topic that we're going to be presenting tonight. Not only is it interesting, but I think it is very critical and important to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about kids and kids going back to school and how we can help protect them from viruses, infections, disease, contamination, how we can keep them healthy by building up their immune system. And that is going to be our topic of discussion. We have a very special guest. Actually, we have multiple presenters tonight. Our first guest, though, that's going to introduce the topic and talk to you is one of our Soul Originals, and she's coming from the Gem State. So we have a gem from the Gem State, and that is Corinne Lott. So please welcome Corinne to our program. Hi, Corinne.
Hey, Lon. Thanks for having me on.
Are you ready for this presentation? You ready to start talking about back to school and keeping kids healthy?
Well, we've been talking about it for quite a while. The last 6 weeks, this has really been our focus with our team. And so it just kind of rolls off my tongue. Everybody I come in contact, I'm like, oh, what are you doing for your kids? Hope it's just not a mask, because that's really their first line of defense is what the kind of teeth put a mask on, and we want to go further and deeper than that.
Yeah, and so there's so many things. So many products that we have at Soul Naturals that can help kids stay healthy. And you've got some great testimonials. I'm looking forward to that. I also want to welcome all of our people that are chatting in. We have Colleen and Olga, Jody, Carol, Angela, Sarah, Kenley. Guess what? Your husband Chris is on there saying that you're his favorite. So isn't that sweet?
Well,
we also have Mitzi, Ismena, Kim, Anita. Welcome everyone to our program tonight. And again, it is about back to school and keeping kids healthy. And it reminded me, so my son, I have a 15-year-old who's a sophomore in high school. Hayden, he just started his sophomore year in high school. And I actually got an email from his math teacher. And she said that she thought he was just average. And I thought that was mean. There you go. There's my dad joke. I actually liked that one. I thought that one was pretty good. But anyway, with that said, I am going to turn the time over to you, Corinne, to talk about the work that you've been doing and share your knowledge with how you can keep kids healthy, how you can build up their immune system, and how you get them to take the Soul products. So go ahead, take it away, Corinne.
All right, that sounds great. When Lon first reached out, I thought there's so many things that we can do, and so many of us kind of do our own thing with our kids, but it's usually at the suggestion of somebody else. We have an amazing team across the country that's really focusing on doing things that are going to benefit the kids, both mind, their body, and their soul. And that's what each one of these products at Soul Naturals does. I love that every product has an adaptogen in it, and it has a mind-body effect. And our philosophy is we can't heal the mind without the gut being healed, and we can't heal the gut without the mind being healed. And so what better products to start our children on are the Soul Vital and the Renew. That's actually going to be the ones that I'm going to focus mostly on tonight because those were the biggest impact. About 7 years ago, my youngest son, Matthew, entered kindergarten, and the teacher kind of pulled me aside and said, Corinne, we just love little Matthew. He just smiles at everybody, and he's so pleasant to have in class. However, he's not really staying on task, and he's having a hard time focusing and finishing his assignments and just listening to instructions. And my first thought was, he's 5, he's a boy, and kindergarten's a new thing. He hadn't been going to school up until this point. And so I kind of thought, okay, well, they asked if it would be okay if they had a representative from the state come in and kind of assess him to see, if something else was available that they could, whether it's extra classes after school or possibly medication. Okay, I know that medication is there for a purpose, but I also know that my 5-year-old was just being himself, and I didn't want to go that route. And the biggest thing that we found, it sparked a lot of conversation within our home. And that is right about the time Renew formulated and came out. And I remember that the first training class in California that they talked about Renew. And I thought, they said this is for attention and focusing, and it's for adults and kids. And I thought, oh my word, I cannot wait to get. And I think I actually went to the back of the conference room and begged for a couple samples, because I really thought this is going to be something that I would be able to have for my son. And we came home, and about 6 weeks, with us using the products, using the Vital and Renew every day. Sometimes we would skip a day, but then we would just double up on it the following day. And within 6 weeks, by the time that representative came back to give me the assessment, I had to meet with the administrator, the school principal, the teacher, the Title I, and they were telling me, the teacher said, Corinne, don't panic. We do this all the time. And so when the state representative came in, she said, well, we noticed that Matthew really wasn't following directions in class. And the teacher interrupted them and said, oh, he is now. And she said, what do you mean? She goes, he pays attention. And she goes, okay, well, we assessed him when he was walking in the halls. The Harbor Way is to, just stay on one side of the hall. And he wasn't doing that. And the teacher said, he's doing that now. And they said, okay, well, he wasn't doing his schoolwork at school. He was having a hard time. It was taking him longer. And the teacher said, actually, he's no longer having problems with that. Every bullet point that they brought up, he no longer was struggling with. And that was 6 weeks of him having a Vital and Renew drink. We called it, his green juice. We called it his green drink, whatever we could get in him. And he actually says it tastes like Smarties. Guys, we've been doing that for several years. And I remember, when the teacher said, are you sure you haven't put him on any medication? Because that sounds like you've medicated him with something. And I shared with them what I was doing. And she said that he was the first child that she had seen that they were not going to be putting him on a program. He did not have to do the after school programs. And that first year in kindergarten, he actually went on to the second math book, which not a lot of the kids did. So I really contribute to the mind and the gut health that we were able to focus on by having the amazing products like Vital and Renew. Later on, we added in things like Probio IQ, which was so important that we know that is so great for the gut and settling, the tummy. So he is now in 7th grade, and he is doing fantastic with the schoolwork. He's focusing. He's doing online school. We chose to do that due to some health issues that had come up. Last year, he had a growth that was called a sessile osteochondroma. And it kind of took us back a little bit when the doctor started talking about, let's have you go over and do an MRI, let's rule out cancer. And as any parent, those are some really awful words to hear. But we felt calm. We went and had the testing done. We actually had several appointments between doctors and physicians, and they actually referred us to Shriners Hospital. And the neat thing about it is when we went to Shriners, they found that this was something that was not going to be, as detrimental as they thought it was going to be. They had told us, plan on having, surgeries over and over. And with him being on so many wonderful products and through prayer and us just trying to give him everything that his body needs, he was able to have his surgery. They removed that. And I'll never forget the words of the dietitian when she came in. She was talking to us about making sure that we're giving our kids, not only Matthew, but our other kids, vitamin D and just really good vitamins. And I told her, I said, we have a plant-based vitamin D that we give him. And she pulled me aside and said, that is the first mom in 20 years that said that their son or their child was getting a great source of vitamin D. And so I'm so great to have these things, so many things. And vitamin D alone really helps boost the immune system. And so I really feel like that has really helped with his recovery after that. And we're put out to about 6 months follow-up for, from surgeries and from his last appointment. So we're super excited about that. And I know that a lot of this has to do with how fast he healed, with us giving him those good supplements. I know that there is a lot of difference that we can talk about with these, with the whole Soul product line. One thing that I do want to bring out, again, what I said, it's something that children can take, adults can take, infants can take. So we have loved being able to share this with so many parents. Right now, I want to introduce a couple of moms that are pretty fantastic. We have an amazing team across the country that are really focusing on the good things that we're given to our kids. The first one I want to introduce is Ashley Geigel, coming to us from South Dakota. And she has a pretty fun things. Hey, Ashley.
Hey.
Hey, well, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with your kids and how you're getting them to take these?
Yeah. So I have 4 kiddos, on 9 and under, and probably like each one of them is very unique, obviously, just like every child, right? So my oldest has a little issues with some stomach upset when he gets nervous, nervous tummy. And so we've really focused on doing like the ProBio IQ with him, and he carries his contentment oil with him to school and just knows that that's something that's really going to be beneficial for him. And most recently, my success story with him is that he's drinking Brydel. So I'm like, hip, hip, hooray for that. Yes. And then my second child is my child. She had childhood cancer. So we've really focused on getting her the NeuroIM and those extra benefits of the mushroom blend with that, and just kind of helping her heal there along with ProBio. And we're still working on the drinks with her. When we went and visited Corinne, Matthew had her talked into drinking the Brydel every now and then, but she's fallen off that wagon a little bit. So, and then Witten is my third child, and he has a little bit of a behavioral problem. So we've really focused on doing that ProBio in his belly button, and it's about the extent that we've gotten with him, but just knowing that he's getting that amazing nutrition. But then my daughter, Presley, she was born, and I started with Soul when she was 2 months old. And about 3.5, 4 months, she was eating avocados and starting to drink out of a sippy cup here and there. So I was like, well, let's just give this a whirl. Like, let's give her the Brydel. It can't hurt. And I didn't know about giving it to her in her bottle, so I mixed it with her avocados, actually, and she would gobble it up. And then pretty soon I would just give her a small sippy cup with some Brydel in it, and she'd love it. So Presley will be 3 in November, and she knows she drinks Brydel and Renew, and she calls it her blue Brydel. So she's always looking for, right away in the morning, she wants her blue Brydel. Right when she gets home from daycare, she asks for blue Brydel. And even at bedtime, she's getting her blue Brydel. So, but one of my favorite stories with her is she was wanting chocolate milk one day, and she has a milk allergy. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I just made her a chocolate, well, I call it a chocolate shake, but it's the complete protein. And I was like, well, we'll see, maybe she'll like it, maybe she won't. And I made it just like actually, I think I took mine from my bottle and put it in like a straw cup for her, which was complete. And then a half scoop of the Avant Greens and a Cinnamate is how I drink mine every morning. And she devoured it. So now she knows she'll just be like, I want chocolate shake, or I don't. And it's just fun. It's fun to see how much benefit, how well she's benefiting from it, right? So we've like everywhere, we've had the sniffles and the crud kind of going through. And at daycare, she got like a small like runny nose, but nothing compared to like what the other children had been experiencing. She skipped the cough and she skipped the a couple of them had the fevers and that kind of thing. And she always is. She's just so happy and cheerful. And I really feel like, when she was younger and had like that milk, we were finding that she had that milk allergy. She would get so fussy and just these horrid rashes. And it's just been great to see that she doesn't have any of those issues. She's just a little girl that's very healthy.
I love that. And I love how her temperament is. When you guys came to visit, she was happy and just got along with everybody. And sometimes a 3-year-old doesn't really do that. So that was a lot of fun. You had talked about your kids and how you put the ProBio in his belly button. That's kind of a cool way and unique way to be able to get probiotics into our kids, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And I love that's one of my favorite things to share because so many people are so interested in how that works and why it works and why they can't use, their over-the-counter probiotic that way. And honestly, I don't know the answer. I just know that our probiotic, you can think outside the capsule and you can put that in their little belly button with a little AC cream and a Band-Aid on top. And I always tell them, like when Presley was an infant, she would have some constipation issues. And I swear by it. I was like, I tell you, 15 minutes after that's in the belly button, you get a result.
I love that. It is. It works very quick. And I just love that we have such a live, active form that is there for us to use, whether we just want to take it in the capsule, make it in a paste, hide it in some applesauce, or putting it in the belly button. So I just want to say thanks for sharing all of those things. That was pretty incredible. I love hearing all the stories about your kids. So
Thank you.
I do want to welcome the next mom that has had some pretty amazing stories as well. Holly Brydel is coming to us from Wisconsin, and I am excited to see. Hey, Holly.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to, we'd love to hear just a little bit about what you've been doing with your kids and their story.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me. So I am a mom of 2 kids, and our soul journey started back in 2018. And for us, we were a family looking for balance. We wanted not only to balance our mind and body, but for us at that time, it was more about balancing emotions as well. And our soul journey started with the curiosity of both of our kiddos and helping them. And at the time, our daughter Evelyn was 4, and she was loosely diagnosed with sensory processing disorder. And I say loosely because we never moved forward with getting a formal diagnosis. We didn't feel we needed the label. All we knew is that we were ready to make whatever changes we needed to make her feel more comfortable in her own skin. She was very hyperactive. She was anxious. She had a really hard time getting dressed. Nothing really felt right, good, or comfortable on her. And she had a really hard time going to sleep as well. We started her, as Corinne mentioned earlier, on both the Vital and Renew. And the combination of those products were absolutely amazing. It helped balance her emotions. We saw a reduce in her stress, and it also helped build her immunity. So not to say there are certainly times where we see these feelings spike, and I think that happens with everybody, but they were big emotions for a 4-year-old. And I would say within a matter of 2 months max, we started seeing her feel more comfortable and also become more independent. So that was a true blessing and a story for Evelyn. Owen, who's sitting here with me now, he has a story of his own, as we all do. and he was born with a form of spina bifida. And as a result, he ended up having brain surgery at the age of 6 months old. So, being our first child, he put us through the ringer and really taught us what love is and that you're going to do anything and everything you can for your kid. Through that, he also had a series of MRIs, and those showed that he also was dealing with ventricular heterotopia, which in layman terms means that the gray matter of his brain did not fully migrate to where it needed to go in the early development stages. For us, we just looked at it like it was a small bump in the road. Through school, he continues to receive PT, OT, and speech. And Corinne, I feel like we're on the same level when you say all of the changes you started noticing. For Owen in particular, he needed some help getting revved up and ready to learn. He experienced hurdles when trying to put stories together, pretty much the whys. Oftentimes in school, we were seeing him remaining silent and staring off into space. And then further down the road, we were actually having situations where he had loud and random outbursts. We didn't know where they were coming from, and he didn't either. So we were there to help him. He too takes both Vital and Renew. We call it the green drink and the calm juice in our house. For Owen, he doesn't like to drink juices. He doesn't like sweet drinks, so we had to get a little creative. And he mixes the Vital and Renew every morning, and we put it in yogurt. And that's just seems to be how he's able to take it. But for him, it's really helped balance, emotions, stress. It helps manage his fatigue. And most importantly, it helps him remain focused in school. And he too is a story of success. He's been able to connect the dots. He's coming more out of his shell. He's able to make friends, which I'm not going to lie, early on in our journey, we thought we were going to deal with a lot more hurdles. So I do relate this to looking for more natural options. And a few other things, you guys did mention the probiotic in the belly button, and we have done that with both of our kiddos too. We don't do it on a regular basis, but recently Owen had gotten sick, had many signs of COVID. He didn't end up testing positive, but one of the things we did on top of his Vital and Renew was ProBio in his belly button. And I would say, Owen, it was within probably like a half hour after we put that in your belly button, you started turning around, feeling better. Yeah. So lots of amazing stories. It's definitely progress, not perfection. But I think that's all what we're striving for. And for us, Soul has been a true blessing, not only for our children, but for us. And I feel like it gives us an overall sense of calmness, if there is such a thing, a little bit of clarity going into the situations that we're all in right now, and knowing that we're going in with a healthier and stronger immune system.
Oh, Holly, thank you so much. And Owen, thank you for being on here with us. I know that is huge for him. And I just, that everything that you talked about, us as parents, that sense of peace and that peace of mind, knowing that we're giving our kids things that are going to help support and boost their immune system, is just huge. And I just want to thank each of you ladies, because, sometimes this is a little scary for us, to be able to share something that's so close to our heart. And, and not all days are rainbows, but I'll tell you, there has been more of those since we've had Vital and Renew, or since we've had Soul, we should say it. But I'd like to turn the time back to Lon, and if there's anybody with questions, Lon will go ahead and address that with us.
Okay, thank you so much. I I feel the same way. Holly mentioned that she just feels blessed, and I, as a parent and as a member of the Soul Founders Group and executive team, I feel blessed that we have so many wonderful people that are out there sharing Soul, helping their families and helping others with their health. And I don't know, I just feel grateful, and I feel the same joy and, I guess, gratitude and blessing that all of you feel. And thank you for sharing your personal experiences. Like Corinne said, that's not always easy to share personal stories. I wanted to share, Molly Higgins commented in that she's been using Soul Vital Renew and I guess it's Soul Clear SI in popsicles for her kids. She says they like it more than drinking it, and they love giving it to them. And it makes a huge difference. There are so many different ways. As I talk to different soul siblings around the country, I find there's so many creative ways that they're getting their kids to take the soul products. You heard Holly talk about adding it to yogurt. And so I'm not gonna reveal which child it is, just gonna protect the innocent. Okay, I'm gonna keep it anonymous. But one of my children was having some painful elimination, and he was really struggling with constipation. And so I tried to get him to take Soul Vital every day. Well, he didn't like to drink Soul Vital. Okay, my kids are old enough that they are going to fight me on stuff if they don't want to take it. What I found was that if I would add a little lime juice and lemon juice to it and make it more like a lemonade, then he was okay with it. And by taking that and adding the ProBio IQ, getting him to take that and some Fast Track, we were able to correct that problem. And again, just like all of the moms that shared their experiences, I'm grateful that we have tools, we have things that we can give our kids to help them get healthier, regardless of the situation and the chaos that's going on in the world around us. We have something to help protect them, help them get healthier, help build up their immune system. And I'm going to see if there's any other questions. If you have a question, go ahead and chat it in, and I will address the questions to Corinne or to Holly or to Ashley if you have questions. But I'm just seeing people commenting about the great testimonies and the amazing stories, and they definitely appreciate you taking the time to share those stories with you. Angela says the Soul Clear SI has been amazing for my daughter with the AC cream. So I guess you mix it with the AC cream. I make a chest rub and apply it to front and back and feet, and you don't have to use a nebulizer anymore. And Sarah says we have such a powerful and pure toolbox. Definitely very blessed. I agree. And then Paola Dominguez would like to know if this will be recorded so she can share it later. Yes, it is. We're recording it, and it will be on our YouTube channel under the Virtual Happy Hour folder, in that folder, so you can look at it. And Alpha Plays says she puts it in oatmeal for her son. She puts the soul products in oatmeal. And okay, we do have one question before we conclude. Colleen Vanderwood wants to know if you're using a full packet of Vital and Renew. So I guess Holly and Corinne, I'll address that to you. Is it a full packet with your kids, or do you break it up into smaller doses?
When Matthew was in kindergarten, we actually did a half pack of each day. And on the days that we would miss it, he would come to me and go, "Mom, I missed my drink." And so we would give him a full packet. Now he is he's 12, I should say. And he's doing a full packet when he does it. But my grandbaby, who is almost 2, she just, if she sees a Vital sitting anywhere, she just drinks it. So the younger they are, you can start them out with a half a packet, or, whatever you do, it's not going to hurt anything, and it's going to get things moving through your system.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get them to drink it, you can go with a full packet. What about you, Holly?
I'm the same way. So both of my kiddos take a half packet each in the morning when we mix them together. So a half packet of Renew and a half packet of Vital. And that's pretty much all Owen takes regularly. My daughter Evelyn does. Then I drink I drink Vital throughout the day. So if I have it in my cup, she also will drink it. So I would say she's probably getting at least a full packet of Vital a day.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, I want to thank Corinne and Holly and Ashley again for sharing their experiences. And someone asked if they don't like capsules, what do they do? And I found that most capsules you can just add to a smoothie. And I think it's Kenley says that my kids love it in smoothies. And I found that you can usually add the capsules to a smoothie if you can't get them to actually swallow the capsules. And I guess that's all the time we have for our virtual happy hour. I do have a couple of reminders before we conclude, and that is that our next virtual happy hour will take place October 19th, same time, 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and we're going to be talking about digestive health because in October and November, our focus is going to be on digestive health. Also, I want to let everyone know that coming up at the first of the year, after the first of the year, we're going to have a Soul Virtual Kickoff. And I wanted to give you the dates now. Those dates are January 14th through the 15th. And very soon we'll be releasing registration details and we'll open it up and you can go ahead and get online and register for that event. Again, that's just going to be a virtual event that will take place January 14th through the 15th. So again, thanks everyone for participating in our virtual happy hour tonight. And go out there, use the Soul product, take care of your kids. Let's keep them healthy. Good night.